Hello and welcome to another video. This video is inspired by the news that due to COVID-19, the world of football has seen a £9 billion drop in the value of its players. The premiership accounts for about 1.6 billion of this figure. So here's the headlines by the Yorkshire Live reporting on the issue. How much Sheffield United's squad value has plummeted, according to transfer experts. So let's go into this a little bit further, and instead of preaching doom and gloom, we will look at why the Blades are flying high in this current economic downturn. So we will have a quick look over the article, and then what I'm going to do is show you the value of the Sheffield United players in an interesting way. By the end of the video, if you're not already thinking Chris Wilder deserves Manager of the Year, you will after this. Sheffield United have seen their squad value decreased by 18% amid the coronavirus pandemic, dropping more than 25 million due to the worldwide crisis. According to the trusted website Transfer Market, the Blades' player value has taken a hit, but is the fifth lowest out of all the Premier League clubs. So that's already taken any sting out of the headline, but wait to see the stats I'm going to show you soon. The Premier League has seen a dramatic loss of 1.61 billion altogether, with Manchester City losing 219 million in value. Norwich City suffer the least significant loss in the whole division due to the youngsters they have in their squad. This is because all the players born in 1998 or after only suffer a loss of 10%, while other players lose 20% of the value. So if you're a club like Man City or Liverpool, this news is going to hurt a bit. But if you're a club like Sheffield United, who in the transfer window is actually looking to trade upwards with the value of players, it's actually a good thing. It means it's a buyer's market. According to the website, the Blades have a squad value of 117.63 million, the lowest in the Premier League, thanks to the drop in price due to the coronavirus pandemic. Well, as far as I've been aware, we've always been the lowest, so no change there. This is how we started at the beginning of the season. We may have just edged above Norwich after we signed Sanderberg, I guess. Everyone in the squad has seen their value go down, with the most valuable player being Sanderberg at 18 million. Berg became Sheffield United's record signing in January when he signed from Genk for around 22 million. The Norwegian midfielder is only 22 years old, and because he was born in 1988, his value would have only gone down by 10%, unlike others in the squad. Okay, so if you're wondering how a £22 million drops to 18 million with a drop of 10%, of course it doesn't. But when we signed Sanderberg, his actual market value was closer to 20 million than the fee we actually paid. So what we're going to do now is look at Sheffield United's players and rank them in order of how much their value has actually increased since joining the club. We're going to do this by percentage increase to see how negligible the 20% drop in player value matters to the dream team that is Sheffield United. Here are the players I've omitted due to being out of contract soon, so have little value to the club anyway. That's financial value. Even though he has no financial benefit to the Blades, I've included Dean Henderson. Spoiler alert, although Dean Henderson has increased in value 1,400%, he incredibly still only comes fourth in the list. So which of our players do you think are in the top three? At the bottom of the pack in 19th, with a loss of 44%, is Luke Freeman. We paid $5 million for him last summer, and he's seen very little action this year. I was in the stadium when he played centre midfield against Fylde in the FA Cup, and he was one of our best players, to be honest. Since Berg's joined, he's not even been on the bench. Another loss for us is McBurney. Despite putting in decent performances, if you've got a striker starting 28 out of 29 games and returning with a big fat 0, his price tag is probably going to go down. The 23-year-old has lost 33% of his value, and if he wants to further his career, He just has to find the back of the net. 17th and 16th are Ben Osborne and Michael Verrips, both with the standard COVID-19 loss of 20%, which brings us on to our only other player to be worth less now than when he joined us. That's Sander Berg. His depreciation in my math is actually 7%, but I'm sure under Chris Wilder he will have every opportunity to become the player he's destined to be and could easily be worth 30 or 40 million in 12 months' time. The next 14 players, despite the headline of plummeting value, have all still made an increase in value with Sheffield United. It's a good job you've got me to put the record straight. On that note, if you want to help the channel, you can pop over to the website or simply subscribe to the channel. Thank you to all the blades who have already subscribed. So, in 14th with a gain of 57%, it's Mousse. Not a bad first season for us, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come. 13th and 12th sees Billy Sharp, who's 34, and McGoldrick, who's 32. Both players are worth 60% more now than when they joined us. That's even despite their current age. Simon Moore is 11th with a 63% increase. 10th comes Ollie Norwood, joining us in January 19 for a fee of just 2 million. I think he's started every league game for us. He's doubled his worth over a year. 9th is probably the most undervalued player in the list, and that is John Egan. His market value has gone up 137%, but in my opinion, something's missing here. I think if he changed his name to something a bit more exotic, he'd probably be worth another 20 million. Next, with a solid 220% increase, is Chris Basham. What a career he's having with us. Long live Sir Chris. 7th best gain at 243% is another long-time blade, Kieran Freeman. I think the club has outgrown him, and I'm sure he will find a new home and some football next season. Okay, this is where it starts getting really fun. In 6th position, with a 767% increase, is John Fleck. Finding the back of the net 5 times, he's been rock solid for us this season, as he has been for the previous 3. Also joining us in summer 2017 is George Baldock. He's seen an 860% raise in value. So we get to the top 4. As mentioned earlier, 4th is Hendo at 1,400% increase. Very nice job we've done for the Reds across the hills. We're all hoping we get another season out of him. Coming in at 3rd, with an incredible 1,471% increase, is yet another signing from summer of 17, Ender Stevens. Chris Wilder got Stevens and Fleck on free transfer in summer 17. Fingers crossed Chris has got his eye on a few more bargains like this for this summer. Okay, these stats are getting crazy, and hopefully you can see why a 20% drop in player worth for Sheffield United can't really be called a plummet. 20% is small change. On to the top 2. Any guesses as to number 1 yet? In 2nd, we've got yet another 2017 signing, John Lundstrom. Although he's out of contract in the summer, everything's looking set to get a proper deal over the line this year, so no worries here, I think. So we've made it to the number 1 spot, and it's a totally insane market value increase of 2,614%. Jack O'Connell is reaching iconic status, and he just keeps getting better. Fortunately, he signed a new contract earlier this year. I'm going to leave you with this. Watching this again sent a shiver up my spine. Enjoy.
O'Connell coming in! That's the one! Forget the maths!